Hey everybody, how y'all doing on this Monday morning? Fine, I hope. Just wanted to check in with you guys and see how it's going. Also, just let you know what's been on my mind. And of course, if you haven't heard about the latest tragic events that's been happening, another senseless violent shooting in Texas at a church. And I just want to say my heart goes out to all the victims and their families. This is just there's really no words that we can say. The only thing I can say is I'm just flabbergasted. I'm just in shock right now with what the response that we're getting from our president and several Congress members about these events. They just seem to be nonchalant. They seem to be callous. And the thoughts and the prayers and all of that is nice, but for people who have the power to do something about this and about these senseless violent acts, and they don't do it, your thoughts and prayers really mean nothing to people. The American people are tired of hearing it. We see these types of events happening all around the world. France, Sweden, London, now in Europe, and of course in the Middle East. It's been going on for ages, but this violence, but now it's happening here in America. And the government, our president, who swore to protect the American people, blah blah blah, all that stuff that comes out of their mouths, it just seems like the same old. So the only thing that we can do as a people is just be sober and vigilant. And it's really a shame we can't do anything. We can't go to movies. Our children are being targeted in school. Colleges are being targeted. Churches, everywhere our freedoms are being threatened. And it's really sad because the government seems to be compliant. They're just like there seems to be just a complacency with the government, as if they just, they have the power to do something about this, but they won't. Gun control is the topic, and President Trump continues to ignore it. Many of the Congress continue to ignore it. They know what they need to do. We're not asking, why in the world would we ask you to take away our rights? It is a right to bear arms. We're not saying to take away guns from people. We know that everyone should have a right to that. Everyone who is capable of bearing arms, let's just put it like that, who's stable enough to bear arms, should have the right to bear arms. This is not what the call to reform gun control, that's not what we're saying, is to take away people's guns. I'm pro a Second Amendment, you know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about at all. But people's lives, every time something happens, it's like, oh, this person had a mental illness and all, just excuses and all this. If they do have a mental illness, then why in the world are they allowed to carry guns and operate them? Why are they allowed to even to buy a gun or gain access to a gun? So those are the things that we're talking about. And though there needs to be stiffer background checks and vetting of who's buying guns. And I know what you're gonna say. People will get guns if you make stiffer laws. People are buying guns illegally on the black market and all that. Yeah, we know that. You just have to the police and the, DEA, drug enforcement agencies, because that's what usually happens. Guns and drugs go together. But when, on that scale, you just have to have your law enforcement out on the move, be vigilant and get them. But if they're going to break the law, then that's what you're going to have to do. But we're talking about everyday citizens just gaining access to guns. They can just walk into a store or maybe a family member gave them the guns or something that they purchased. I don't know what we can do, but that's really up to y'all. We can give y'all suggestions, but you are the government and the president and all of that, and so you should be figuring this out. But every time the topic of gun control comes up, it's like, oh, we don't want to talk about that right now. It's like same thing happened with Las Vegas shootings. Oh, this isn't the time to talk about it. Well, darn it, when in the world is the time to talk about it, So, I mean, I'm just calling on Congress to act. I'm calling on the president to act, This is what you said you would do. You swore during your inauguration, President Trump, that you would protect the American people. Oh, you were going to protect the American people from who? From the Mexicans, build a wall and all of that, the Muslims, and keep them out. But you can't even protect them from American, we got domestic terrorism happening right up under us, and you don't seem to be concerned about this. These are Caucasian white Americans killing other Americans, and this, you seem to not have any plan on how to deal with this. You're so concerned with, as you should be. We don't want any type of terrorism happening here. I totally agree that any act of terrorism it's not going to be tolerated, and it shouldn't be tolerated. But you seem to be focused on building the wall and keeping Mexicans out, or keeping terrorists, refugees out, which, hey, if they are terrorists, then yeah, they should be kept out. But what are you going to do about domestic grown terrorism? Caucasian people shooting people. You don't want to call it terrorism, but it is. These are acts of terrorism done by Americans, okay? So you got to come up with a plan, and you got to do it now, because the American people, they do bear arms, and we have a right to protect ourselves. If you're not going to protect us, that's what the right to bear arms is. And then, it's going to be an all-out, oh, are they protecting themselves, or are they going vigilante? What, that's the question. People are going to get fed up. I don't know what people are going to do. I'm not in the minds of people, but I know for a fact that people are fed up with your excuses about every time something happens, you don't want to talk about it. President Trump, this is for you. You're asked several times every time something happens. Unfortunately, a lot of things are happening, and you're just it's the same old song that you're singing. This isn't the right time to talk about it. You're right. This is not the right time to talk. You need to start acting. So that's what we're calling for you to do, and for Congress to do something about this, this domestic terrorism that's overtaking our nation. Our children are dying. Our families are dying. Our friends, our co-workers. You may not care, but we do. You were put in office to be the president of the United States and care for the citizens of this country. And if Congress sits by and lets you get away with not doing your job, they are accomplices. They are they are a part of the problem, and they are just as guilty as you are. So remember that, people, when you go to vote. I think voting is tomorrow, right? Elections are happening. Think about that. Who's on your side and who's on Trump's side? Because Trump doesn't seem to be on the side of the people. So you're going to have to really find a way to do something as the people, because these lawmakers don't seem to care. Donald Trump certainly doesn't seem to care. And so, that's just how I feel. That's what I'm feeling today. And, just try to do the best you can. Again, be sober and vigilant on, if something looks suspicious in your area. I mean, you don't want to walk around here being suspicious of your surroundings, but you want to be sober and vigilant. So just be aware of your surroundings. Have fun. This is America, the land of the free, right? Home of the brave, land of the free, and all of that. So don't walk around here like in fear, but be aware. Okay. So if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't seem right, just do what you have to do to protect yourselves and your loved ones, your co-workers, your family, your friends, everything. That's all I have to say on that. Unfortunately, we have to keep talking about this, but just try to keep it moving. I also want to congratulate my team, the Dallas Cowboys, for their great win over the Kansas City Chiefs. That was a great game. Both teams played phenomenally. It was just awesome. That play with the Kansas City Chiefs before halftime, that was just awesome. But, my boys came back. They put on their mental toughness helmets, and they went out there and they did it. They got it done. The Chiefs are the team to beat. They're really lit and they're really good. So I just want to congratulate the Dallas Cowboys for a great win. Congratulations. So that's all I have to say today. I'm just elated over that win. So great Monday after a great Sunday football evening. But if there's any comments that you want to post about this, or you feel free to post your comments and your concerns on this post. How do y'all feel about the job that President Trump is doing in relations to gun violence in our nation? Weigh in. How do y'all feel about it? And do you think that he's doing a good job? I mean, do you think that he's doing the best he can, or do you think that he needs to do more? So love to hear what you have to say. And again, be careful out there, be safe, have fun, and be productive, and but just be safe. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all take care until next time. Bye.